Good morning. Welcome to Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship. I'm Reverend Paul Beckel. Let's give thanks today for life and for this land, water, and sky, the traditional territory of the Lummi and Nooksack peoples, where our lives are sustained. And may we recognize our interdependence with all lands and creatures, all peoples and all creation. Even as we go about our ordinary days and nights, may we remember how we are joined in an inescapable network of intricately woven partnerships. This network of mutuality, coexistence, interbeing, synergy, symbiosis is of course not static, but evolving, as are all of our relationships. Today we gather to celebrate our partnership with the Unitarian Church of Meyer Savat in Transylvania. We will take this opportunity to recommit to our partnership by taking a collection to support their work. But this is also an opportunity for us to consider the true nature of partnership of equals, and how we may need to reconceive our evolving relationships from time to time to ensure they don't devolve. In this case, to slip into a matter of simply Americans handing over money, wishing things were different, and leaving it at that. How can we move instead toward a relationship where our generosity meets with their generosity? And how do we do this without making all of the decisions ourselves? We take a step in the right direction today by raising money not only for the support of the Meyer Savat congregation, but also to fund a trip for their longtime minister, Tomas, and his wife, Kato, to visit Bellingham next summer. So let's give thanks for this interdependent web of life and love and our many strands of connection near and far.
Now it is time to light our chalice. Here's a reading from Christine Robinson. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light the chalice, this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. It's coming. Thanks, Cindy. And now we will recite our covenant. Covenant is the silken thread that joins UU congregations, communities, and individuals together in a web of interconnection. The practice of promising to walk together is the precious core of faith. Please remember, covenant is a noun and a verb. Covenant is found in your order of service. If you're new, you can follow along. You can read it if it's new to you. We shall be known by the, oh, I'm sorry, wrong thing. I knew that would happen. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service gives its light. Celebrating our diversity and joined by a quest for truth, we work for peace and honor all creation. This is our covenant.
Thank you, Jan and Cindy. Now if you would all rise in body or spirit and join in singing the song Seke Aldash, which is the Seke blessing. Seke is a region of Transylvania, and these words are embroidered on a hanging in the narthex in Hungarian. Look on the back of your order of service. The song has two verses, one in English and one in Hungarian, and if you look at the phonetic version, you'll be fluent in Hungarian. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hol hit a szeretet, a szeretet ad béke, a béke ad áldás, hol áldás ad Isten, hol Isten ad szükség nincsen. Where there is faith, there is love. Where there is love, there is peace. Where there is peace, there is blessing. Where there is blessing, there is God. Where there is God, there is no need. Hol hit a szeretet, a szeretet ad béke, hol béke ad áldás, hol áldás ad Isten, hol Isten ad szükség nincsen. As the choir comes up, I'd like to acknowledge Matt Novak and Allegra Ziffel playing the guitar and the violin. Let's clap for them. They were on the pilgrimage in which 42 pilgrims from Bellingham and friends of ours traveled to Romania in 2017, one of the largest groups to ever tour in Transylvania, with a partner relationship between the U.S. and Transylvania. While there, Matt and Allegra would often whip out their instruments and play when there was dancing and folk singing, and they picked up some tunes, and they've done further study since we've come back with the music specifically from our partner village, Maier-Sovat, which is famous within Transylvania for its very unique traditional style of music. That piece they played would be recognizable by Hungarians as being from Maier-Sovat. So thanks to Matt and Allegra for bringing that to us. We are fortunate this morning to have the Chalice Choir directed by Ruth Ann Hanlon.
Good morning. I just want to mention that I understand and know that Unitarians sometimes have an issue about the Bible and the Lord and God and all of that. And this song happens to have those words in it. So I want to encourage you, as I did the choir, to just remember people in your life, someone past or present, who was always there for you, who always supported you, and who always comforted you, because that's really what this song is about.
Let's sing a blessing to the children as they go off to their classrooms. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hi. My name is Mayali Jose, and today I bring great tidings of great joy. No, wait, that's next month. Good tidings of great joy. Yeah, yeah, that's next month. But I do have news and something to think about that can give us greater joy. The news is our National UU Partner Church Council is reforming, as in reforming their thinking and their behavior and reforming their organization completely from the ground up to reflect this new thinking. So why are they doing this? Within the decades of successful partnerships between American and international UU churches, there has also sometimes been a thread of toxic charity, so in the form of power imbalance. It can be very easy to boil down the partner-church relationship as we wealthy and therefore worthy people giving to those poor people who lack resources, perhaps on many levels. So to address this, the Partner Church Committee has disbanded and is reforming under a new name, the International UU Collaboration, to emphasize the equity between people. And they have a new metaphor, which is currently the beehive. Thousands of bees cooperate, and they cross-pollinate a wide variety of plants. There is still time for you to weigh in on this metaphor. It's not cast in stone yet. I personally have a bit of a problem with the beehive. Honeybee society is pretty hierarchical with prescribed roles of worker and drone. No, thank you. Pardon? But I am all for cross-pollination. That seems like an equitable way between people. You can have a healthy and enriching exchange with wide varieties of people, regardless of their financial means. So here at home, with our own partner church in Magyar Sovat, the financial wealth ratio between our congregations is not likely to change. But I do believe that we have had a relatively equitable relationship over the decades. We listen to what they want in their congregation for what they ask for. We collect money and then give it to them for that purpose. We have visited them respectfully, and they have opened their doors and given us generous hospitality. We've exchanged gifts, some of which you see in the narthex today. And we make use of our ace in the hole, Reka and George, who take the time to translate for us so that we can better understand who they are in Magyar Sovat and what they want for their congregation. And we can be culturally appropriate in their response. But equity and relationships are a work in progress, right? There's more we can do. There are differences to be explored, and there are improvements we could make, like adding the Hungarian tradition of dancing to our own Thanksgiving holiday celebration. Could it be? And when Reverend Tomasz and Kato arrive, we will ask them about the relationship and what do they see as the future of their congregation. And this conversation will help us evolve as a congregation with international collaboration. So that's the news. I applaud the UUA for seeing a problem and taking big steps to fix it. They leave us with a great guiding principle as we attend to our own equitable relationships here at Buff, which is, in the words of the Persian lyrical poet Hafiz, stay close to what makes you feel alive. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Kara Black. First, I wanted to give you a quick update on the community-to-community Buff partnership. This many-year partnership, embraced by the full congregation, has transformed into a more simple task force. Unlike the partnership, which involved jointly planned activities and lots of sharing of space and resources, the task force, headed by Mike Betts, will ask Buff to respond to specific action requests made by C2C. There are several reasons that the partnership came to an end: leadership changes at C2C, C2C's development of its own event and activity spaces, and also, I believe, because they are further along in their development of beloved community than we are, and so the fit of our two organizations shifted. I'm glad that we were able to transition into a more workable relationship, and I hope this will be meaningful to both of our organizations. I also want to speak to you about a very different type of Buff partnership, one with a family. The Al-Houri family lived with their baby boy in the beautiful ancient city of Homs in Syria until it was completely decimated in the civil war 10 years ago. The family sustained injuries and fled to Jordan, where they have been living as refugees in difficult conditions ever since, until the United Nations offered them a new home in the United States. While in Jordan, they had 3 more children, and on October 3rd, all 6 were flown from Jordan to Bellingham on 4 flights, arriving in the wee hours. They were not told where they were going or that there would be more than one plane ride. They were brought to our home, where they lived until November 3rd, when they moved into their own small apartment. The community has been brimming with generosity towards this family. The U.S. government, through the Christian organization World Relief, has provided a structure and advice for supporting the family, as well as $6,000 to help them get started. The Arabic-speaking community has offered hours of free translation, visited the family regularly in our home, invited the family to several events and activities, and helped furnish their apartment, and taken Bassam, the father, to the local mosque. Buff's own Social and Environmental Justice Refugee Action Team, and if you're on that team, would you please stand for a moment if you've been an active part? Yes. This team has done a wonderful job of being the primary support to find the family housing, medical services, government support and identification, and education, as well as providing many hours of childcare, text communications in Arabic, English language learning. The family came with 0 English, not even hello. English language learning, tutoring, transportation, significant financial and donation support, food, warm clothing, supplies, and furnishings. Plus, the team has introduced the family to parks and various activities in our county. It may seem, on the face of it, to be an all-giving, one-sided relationship between our community and this family. However, I do not believe this to be the case at all. In my experience, the gifts this family offers, not just to me and my husband Kurt, but to all the community, or who do or will have the great fortune to connect with them, are many. First, they widen the circle of our community by bringing traditions, perspectives, and beliefs from their culture to join the many cultures in Whatcom County, and perhaps maybe to shift some of the rigidities of our dominant culture here. For example, they welcomed unexpected drop-in visitors into our shared home, sometimes many visitors at once, at various times of day. At first, I was uncomfortable with this, and then positively challenged out of my own reclusiveness and too tired, too busy patterns, and it was eye-opening for me. Second, this is a hardworking, respectful, and helpful family. Any chance they've had, despite our protestations that they didn't need to, they helped with a wide variety of projects and tasks on our property. Even the children anticipate needs, bringing in groceries, opening doors, picking berries, getting shoes or coats for others. They were over the top in cleaning and tending to our spaces. Bassam is eager to work, and it is evident that he is a hard and diligent worker. And I'm sure this helpful contributing spirit will enrich the wider community in many ways. Third, they are a good-humored, bright, curious, active, and interested family. Anyone spending time with them for long ends up laughing and smiling. They bring light, warmth, and goodwill into the spaces they enter. I have experienced them as a remarkably positive force in our lives, and I know they will be so for many others. I feel so fortunate to have come into their circle. Finally, they bring the gift of generosity. They are remarkably gracious about what they receive, and my sense is that they are the sort of people who will share widely what they have. Any future family that arrives after this family is settled will be the recipient from them of the same sort of generosity that they have received. I am confident they will pay it forward, even when they do not have a lot themselves, making the entire community stronger and better. I could go on with many other gifts they bring, but I will stop here and hope you will all enjoy them as much as we have. Shukran.
Thank you, Kara and Miley. If you are in a relationship where you have more power of some kind, or you have less power, a healthy partnership can still exist. We have to start somewhere. We can't wait until someone waves a magic wand to overcome power imbalances based on race and gender, imbalances based on size and strength, ability and attractiveness, imbalances based on geography and dumb luck, reinforced by centuries of custom and law, and validated by the accumulation of wealth. We can and we must join today and work and vote and contribute and evangelize about the blessings that arise from equality versus the grotesque and inhumane consequences of inequality. We can and we must acknowledge how far we have to go and how determined we are to get there, because we cannot, simply with good intentions, make inequality go away. In our every relationship, there is some sort of power imbalance. But I believe that partnership is still possible when partners are clear-eyed about who they are and what they want and what they have to offer, and when they share a vision wherein generosity meets generosity. I think this is true for relationships we develop as a congregation with other organizations, and it's also true in our personal relationships, at home, in extended families, and workplaces and public spaces. In all of these cases, for our relationships to work, they need to flow and reform according to changing circumstances and new insights. And not just through mutual consent, but with shared agency. Mutual consent, absolutely, but not only mutual consent, but shared agency. At Buff, fortunately, we are not stuck on one particular model of partnership. In addition to our evolving relationships with C2C and Meyer Savat and World Relief, the Christian organization Kara mentioned that works with refugee resettlement around the world. We also collaborate with the Lummi in support of their totem pole journeys, for example, and with the Interfaith Coalition in their work to relieve homelessness, with the Congregational Church to teach comprehensive sexuality education, and with the local families impacted by the ICE raid, with the city of Bellingham to create the George Floyd Memorial in Fouts Park, with 3 meditation groups that meet here at Buff, and with many other renters who promote peace and justice, education, arts, and eco-consciousness. We do not share with all of these groups the same religious perspectives, and that doesn't stop us. For example, the Lord is my shepherd. This is for our Buddhist and pagan friends, for traditional Lummi and some members of the Interfaith Coalition. This is a beautiful song, full of heartfelt imagery. On the other hand, it's a deeply devotional prayer for the Christian Refugee Assistance Network, for many Catholics in C2C, our Muslim refugee family, our Jewish friends who will be participating next week in our Interfaith Thanksgiving service, for the Trinitarian Congregationalists down the road, and for the Meyer Savat Unitarians. We don't share all of the same religious perspectives. We don't share all of the same goals. Compared to Buff, some are endowed with larger networks, deeper pockets, more ancient cultural roots. So while we bring into our relationships all that we have, we bring nothing more than our best selves. I invite you now to close your eyes. Stop for just a minute to consider a partnership in your own life. It shouldn't take long to recognize where there are differences in resources and power. So don't dwell there, but ask yourself, where does agency reside in this relationship? And I hope that you take that question with you and notice in a variety of relationships as you go this week. It's not possible and it's not desirable in all of our relationships to split our power and resources 50-50. That's not going to happen. But where does the decision-making arise? Who calls the shots? And how might your relationship be different in that regard? This coming Tuesday, November 15th, Transylvanian Unitarians commemorate the death 433 years ago of Francis David, founder of their tradition. Francis David was instrumental in the establishment of the Edict of Torda, one of the first proclamations of religious freedom in Europe. It wasn't comprehensive. It allowed for freedom and existence for 4 different sects, including Unitarians. It didn't instigate collaboration between those 4 groups, the other 3 being Trinitarian and the Unitarian. There was no collaboration. There was just coexistence, but that was a bold and even dangerous vital step in the right direction. There have been countless steps forward and many steps backward that have taken place since then, moving from neutral acceptance of one another's existence to cautious cooperation to true partnership building. May we not be too complacent to take that next step toward relationships where generosity meets generosity. Where to begin? participate in the conversations as we prepare to welcome Reverend Tomasz and Kato. But more importantly, let's begin with reflections on how we keep company with the people closest to us.
We shall be known. We are going to reflect on that in song with the song called We Shall Be Known by the company we keep. Please rise in body or spirit and join us. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. Thank you. You may be seated. Before we devote the rest of this service to our partnership with Mayer Sovat, I'll draw your attention to one more partnership that is evolving, and that is with the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu. Jeannie and I were privileged to be there last Sunday, and we helped to lead a service there in the church that President Obama attended Sunday school for all those years. He lived in Hawaii. His grandmother was a member. His picture is there in the RE classroom as a little kid. It's a long-established and well-respected community, but it's going through hard times. They're looking for a minister and an RE director, and they're facing some crises within the congregation. And in that context, it was very important to Beth Byers, who belongs there and here. She has houses in both places, and she does music in both places. It was very important to her. She's on the board of the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu and helps lead the music, that we bring some support from Bellingham to them. We shared our covenants, we shared our closing songs. They sang a song that they want me to bring back to you, and the whole service was full of music and poetry that centered around the whales that swim back and forth, the cultural connections we have with canoe journeys and paddling, and so forth. So Beth Byers will be with us just in a couple weeks. And she and that congregation there, they send their thanks to us for what we have given them already. Reverend Barbara and Jaco Tenhove have preached and led workshops there. Reverend Tessie Mandeville and her wife, Lisa Heesen, went with Andrea Rackel and presented a service there before. And Crystal Neva's daughter, Callie, sings in the choir there. The Maros, Frank and Liz, they spend half their time in Honolulu, and they are very active in that congregation. So we just see more and more connection with Honolulu in the time to come. At this time, I'd like to thank the Buff Partner Church Committee. Their names are in the order of service. There are 13 of us or so. This group is essential to, doesn't take a lot of work, but when the work comes around, it's essential. Planning this service, they mounted the display in the narthex. And I'd like new choir member Steve Lamb to present these flowers to two people I'd particularly like to recognize. Bev Smith, a member of the Partner Church Committee, has traveled to Mayer Sovat and is one of the longtime members here and very gracious in remembering their need and knowing stories. So please, Steve, there's Bev. Bev, would you wave at us? We want to recognize her long years of service. with the Partner Church Committee since it was founded in 1991 or something. As Miley said, Reka Zoltan and George Boer, we really couldn't achieve what we are achieving without their help translating. They are, Reka, wave so that Steve can find you. Yeah, translating. And they have opened their home. They're going to welcome Tomasz and Kato to their home in August when they come, and they're helping them think of everything, visas and their travel itinerary and so forth. When you go down for coffee hour after this service, you'll find this flyer near the back door leading you out to the Kopjafa, which is a wooden memorial that we created here in the style that they make them in Hungary, and you can grab one of these flyers from the door there and just go have a look at it. It's very meaningful, and what our connection and all the things that means. Please find that and look at that today if you haven't before, and then put these back on the music stand down there so we have them later. The Unitarian Church started in Transylvania. At the time, there were lots of little principalities in Europe. There wasn't a country called Transylvania or Hungary. But when the Unitarian Church started there, it was by Hungarian speakers who, to this day, call themselves Hungarians, regardless of which country they live in. And their church is called, in English, the Hungarian Unitarian Church, even though almost all of its members are in Transylvania, which is in Romania. 2 of their member congregations are in Hungary itself. But I think most of those people were originally from Transylvania. Like Reka and George, their family roots are in Transylvania, and yet they continue their Unitarianism here with us. On the Hungarian Unitarian Church website, they have a drop-down menu for Meet Our Member Congregations. And you can go down to Magyar Szovat and watch this video, which is a tour of the church and community given by Reverend Tamás in Hungarian. Reka has translated it. I'm going to read the translation as we watch the video. This is Reverend Tamás, who will be coming here in August with his wife, Kato, and he is giving us a tour of their church and community. These lights, 2 more switches there, and maybe some lights there. The village of Magyar Szovat lies in Mezőség County, just 35 kilometers east of Kolozsvár, which is the biggest city in Transylvania. Hungarian speakers began migrating into Mezőség around 900 AD, and records show that they founded the village of Magyar Szovat in the year 1212. The name Magyar Szovat literally means Hungarian speaker. Our ancient church building dates from the year 1311, and the oldest parts of our building are in the Gothic style. The church was built by 3 Hungarian noblemen who ruled the area, the brothers Mihály, István, and János Súky. The church remained under royal Súky family patronage for over 500 years. There you will see S-U-K, Súk, in this inscription. In the 16th century, the Protestant Reformation spread rapidly in Transylvania, and Unitarianism became the world's newest branch of Christianity with the Transylvanian Edict of Torda in 1568. Torda is another village in Mezőség, just 40 kilometers south of Magyar Szovat. The parts of our church that were constructed after the conversion to Unitarianism are in the Baroque style. Much of the post-Catholic history of this building is inscribed in stone plaques within our sanctuary. Records show that in 1581 we had our first Unitarian minister stationed in Mayer-Sovat, but we don't know his name. Here's a list of the rest. During that time, the region was nominally part of the Ottoman Empire, but the various churches continued to meet under the patronage of the local Hungarian nobility. Proof of this is a gift that was made to Mayer-Sovat at that time of 2 silver and gold goblets and a plate to be used for Holy Communion, with symbols and inscriptions showing the Unitarian concept that God is one. Over our 700-year-old building was a Catholic church for its first 250 years, with frescoes painted on the walls showing Jesus as part of the Trinity. During the Reformation, these Catholic paintings were whitewashed over and forgotten, and they were not rediscovered until 1925, when the church was being repaired. Restoration work is continuing at this time, and structural supports are being added where necessary to keep the building upright. We thank our Unitarian partner church in Bellingham, America, for their financial contributions toward this restoration work and other projects, such as the construction and maintenance of a modern social hall next to the church. Our church is a historic landmark, and our regular congregation is often joined by visitors. Even though we are smaller and less known than many historic churches in Transylvania, visitors are interested in learning about the Gothic and Baroque styles and seeing the frescoes, and they enjoy hearing the organ and the singing while participating in our worship services. We are proud to continue serving our regular church members in the same building after more than 700 years. And we are honored when visitors join us in worship in this ancient and historic Unitarian Mother Church.
For our special collection this morning, the Partner Church is asking you to give generously to support 2 goals. One, we want to give our annual contribution, which is a financial gift to our Partner Church, as has been the tradition at Buff for many years. But this year we have the second goal, which is to return the gift of hospitality by bringing Reverend Tomasz and Kato here to Bellingham. Our goal is to raise more than $5,000. Kevin asked me to create some kind of a visual thermometer. I didn't do that, and so I'm just going to be honest. And I don't think we need it. I think we can just knock out that goal today. And I'll tell you why I feel so confident about it. It's not just bravado. Our committee took a moment to make our own contribution and pledge what we would give. And just the Partner Church Committee gave more than $2,000, with someone offering to kind of make up the difference to make sure we can meet our goal. So I'm confident that we will be able to meet that goal, and maybe then some. I had the privilege of visiting Mayer-Sovat with the choir. The people were so kind and showed us their generous hospitality. I remember sitting down to the best bowl of chicken noodle soup with like homemade noodles and broth, and it was this huge bowl, and I was so full, and I couldn't eat anymore, and then I realized that was just the appetizer. And they kept bringing us more and more food, and I was so stuffed, and they wouldn't take no for an answer, and we just couldn't stop. And they also generously poured palinka, which is the local fire water. So I was full and drunk on their food and drink and their love and hospitality. So I'm hoping that we can kind of, give one time, then I don't have to ask again, and then we can get on to the really exciting aspect of this, which is planning their visit and being able to welcome these beloved people to our community. And I'm imagining taking them to Boundary Bay and buying them more than one round, and showing them our beautiful countryside and just sharing that exchange. Thank you for helping us make that happen.
Last Sunday, I got to sing Spirit of Life in English and Hawaiian. But this Sunday, we'll sing it in English and Hungarian. Please rise in body or spirit and find the words on the back of the order of service. Again, the phonetic version will make you sound perfectly fluent. We'll sing it in English first and then in Hungarian. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion.
Wow, you sing amazingly in Hungarian and English. I just have one short announcement, is that we have a tour of the building for anybody who wants to do that. Jane will be back there waving her tour sign, and just cluster around Jane. She likes company, and if you don't know the Bellingham Unitarian Fellowship building, this would be a great way to make yourself feel welcome. And now our benediction. May love bless and guide you as you go. May peace be in your heart as it opens to fresh possibility. And let's join now to sing Circle Round for Freedom.